Hello, I'm Chuck Phillips, South Alabama Home Inspections, and welcome to another edition of Southern Home Talk. Kind of debated whether or not I would do a follow-up video to the one I did a few weeks back about what to expect when you're buying a house in this area of Alabama. And so what we're looking at is some red clay, or what a lot of people call it here, or it's actually red dirt. And so they bring this stuff in to kind of even out lot areas and maybe even shore up foundation areas as well. And you can see they have the straw here to kind of prevent it from washing away, and you can also see where the wall is stained as well from that red clay. And so whenever you get in your home, you want to get that cleaned off as soon as possible, because it can actually kind of sort of stain that permanently in some cases. And so, but really I'm not going to kind of go in a whole lot about what I do as a home inspector. I mainly want to point some of the things out you probably want to know as a new home buyer, some things to expect whenever you get into doing your walkthrough inspections, that sort of thing. And so a lot of times I get called to do a new home inspection, and they say, well, they're going to have it ready by this certain date, and more than half the time it's not. And it's even been to the point where they don't have the fixtures installed. And so just know that there's a high probability that things won't be quite to the level it needs to be for a home inspector to come in. Now, one thing you need to realize about Alabama, I've mentioned it a lot of my other episodes, a lot of people think I'm OCD with it, in fact, but I am in a large respect because it's a big problem. You can see this ceiling fan kind of drooping the blades, and it's because there's a lot of moisture in this house, a lot of humidity, which is, a lot of it's probably just natural, because a lot of these studs, when they were put in, they were damp or wet, and it takes about a year for your house to dry out, just know that. And so that's why you really want to do everything you can as a homeowner not to add to that problem. And so if you have an external vented range hood, which hopefully you do, but a lot of houses don't have them, you want to run this ventilation fan at least 10 minutes after cooking. And you also want to run your bath fans at least 10 minutes after taking a shower or a bath. You don't want to add to the moisture load that's already in the home. Now, there's been some debate about, well, can I put a dehumidifier in a house? Well, I guess you could, but I've read some articles to where that can create excessive shrinking and can create cracking in the drywall with displacement. So probably the thing to do is let the house dry out naturally, but just don't add to that moisture problem. Now, you're going to see a lot of cosmetic problems in most cases. You can see, I don't know if it'll show up, but uneven baseboards, maybe some loose areas of planking on the floor, uneven walls, uneven brickwork, and that's going to be pretty much typical, guys. I'm going to tell you that. There's a certain level of tolerance you're just going to have when it comes to these new homes. Now, there's some things you shouldn't tolerate, and that's why you hire a home inspector. And we're looking at a return area here. You see some gapping around this framework. And so what will happen is it'll pull unfiltered air back behind it and clog up this evaporator coil underneath here. And so if you haven't never seen one of these, or you may have one in your new house now, just know that there's a filter in there that needs to be changed. It's called a fresh air intake. And so I'm going to go ahead and pop the thing. This one takes a 12 by 1, and this filter needs to be changed just like your regular filter does over here, preferably every 30 days. And what this does, it brings in fresh air from the exterior of the home, because these houses are pretty airtight. And it's even more important if you have a gas furnace or a gas range. It really needs this makeup air system. So just know that. So let's just take a tour around the back side of this. Apparently what they needed to do was cut an access hole there to maybe feed some of that stuff through. Now, a home inspection is not a cosmetic inspection, but these are the sort of things I will point out because it's defective to the return area. And so, that's why it's really important that you do a very thorough walkthrough inspection, to identify all the cosmetic issues that are important to you, because that's really not in the scope of a home inspection. Now, another thing too as well, you can see this outlet. This is the dryer outlet, and I wasn't able to get my tester in there. So more than likely, the homeowner's not be able to plug their dryer in either. So that's why you hire a home inspector to check that sort of thing. This is a cosmetic issue, but it's an issue I still point out. This should have a frame around this. That's what that they may not have gotten around to putting it in yet. And you'll notice in some cases, and I haven't quite figured out why that is, but some closets have lights and others don't. Like that one there didn't have a light. But we go around over here, and this one has a light. And so this is another example of a cosmetic issue there. You can see where the flooring is gapped. Right there, it's probably come up, not quite glued down good enough. And these are some cosmetic issues that you're probably going to run into when you're doing a walkthrough inspection on your home. And this is, like there again, it's not something the home inspector will point out either, because there's too many other things he has to evaluate. You know, there's like a split right there. And these are the things I'm pointing out that you should be looking at, not your home inspector. And one of the things you'll find too is, like, this is a closet door here that's become delaminated, and it's because of the moisture in the home. And really what the issue is, this thing hasn't been sealed, painted on the ends, and so it's vulnerable to moisture problems as a result. Now, more than likely the builder's not going to do anything about that, so just know that. All right, guys, and also you might find things where it's reversed. The valve, in this case, the hot's left, the hot's right and cold's left. It's reversed. So anyway, I hope this has been somewhat informative, guys. Thanks for watching, and take care.